Hello everyone, today I wanted to talk briefly about a ridiculous movie, more of a promotion, go and see it type deal than an actual review. I was planning on doing a review and then I'm like, you know what, I'd rather just make this a go and see this movie type thing if you can find it, because it is a great time and it's so much better if you go in knowing very little about it. So I'll just give you a little brief sneak peek at this and why I think it's awesome. We have Robo Geisha from the creator of Tokyo Gore Police, and this is a movie that I saw a preview for years ago and was always on the lookout for, just kind of in the wild, and never stumbled upon it. And eventually, I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna get this movie, and I went and just kind of got it on eBay because just in that preview, it is real. There's a really funny trailer for it that I would quote all the time because just that trailer made me laugh out loud, and it's very hilarious. And this is the type of movie that I knew that it's going to be hit or miss, but I'm probably going to enjoy because this is one of those Tokyo Shock style crazy cult movie, unbelievably gory comedy horror movies with lots of action, in the vein of something like Dead Sushi, the great Rina Takeda. That's one that I've always enjoyed. The Onichambara movie based off of the video game series. And then the first one that I ever personally owned, Samurai Princess. Absolutely ridiculous movies that you can only enjoy if there's a certain type of humor. It's a lot like a lot of really gory, cheesy, bad 80s slasher movies. All those cult favorites that are just, they fit into that so bad it's good category, but there's actually something about them that is genuinely good craftsmanship, that whether it's in the special effects or something that's done well that gives it that extra kick. And this is one that really was that. It's absolutely hilarious the whole way through. I was just giggling. It was so funny, but at the same time, the over the top gore and everything. You have the super cheesy low budget CG, but that's matched with practical effects that are actually impressive. If you view it outside the realm of just cheap, do what you can with what you have type filmmaking, there's a lot of creativity in that. When you have those limited resources, someone with a great imagination and a ridiculous, outlandish sense of humor can make something fantastic, and that's a lot of what's done here with a lot of the practical effects. Some actually decent stunt work if you actually look, and outside of the insanity of what's happening with robot geishas fighting robot goblin women and all the craziness that's happening, and people turning into tanks and whatever, and these just giant buildings that are a man in a rubber suit like an old Godzilla movie or Power Rangers or whatever. If you look outside of that and you actually pay attention to some of the stuff that's happening in the fight scenes, it's like, wow, there's actually some skill going on here. And that's why this works, is that there's an underlying level of creativity, skill, and joy for what you're creating. It's the kind of thing where the people going in and making this movie knew what they were making and went for it, and there are certain people in here that are just brilliant as well. It's a hilarious movie. It definitely, don't go in and thinking you're getting this great B-budget martial arts action movie. It's not that. Don't go in thinking you're getting this special effect extravaganza. It's not that. It's not a great drama. It is what it is. It is this B-cult gory insanity, and it's fantastic. This is one of the most entertaining of this style that I've seen. I only own a handful here, but I've seen a bunch more, and this is honestly one of my favorites. And one reason why I think this could have a wider appeal also is that Amanda actually sat and watched this with me, because again, we were talking about that trailer forever, having seen it and finally watching it. She was curious. She does not typically enjoy these movies. It's not something she would ever really sit down and watch. She's like, there's something in the water in Japan that's it's just insanity. But she sat and watched it with me, and she genuinely enjoyed it. I was actually surprised, but she actually had a great time with it, and we were watching any little special features with it. Not a whole lot on the disc, but some little extra things, and it was a fun time. We had a blast watching this movie, and this is the kind of thing that if you get a group of friends together of a like mind who can appreciate this kind of thing, then you're going to have a really fun time, because it is over-the-top, crazy, cartoony gore. If you're not familiar with these at all, the closest thing that I can think of in like Western cinema would be like Evil Dead 2. something like that. That would be the closest thing I can think of to this type of thing, but there's a very special Japan insanity in this. Some anime influences, some just unbelievably ridiculous things that are fantastic. It's the story of two sisters, one who is a beautiful geisha and her younger sister who is unappreciated and downtrodden, who has definitely some secret potential that is recognized by a client who is the son of the owner of a steel corporation that is secretly making super weapons and secretly is also building an army of robot geisha assassins. And that's as far as I'll go with the story. That's very near the beginning. All this stuff is just kind of the setup for what's going on. But it is entertaining. That's the number one word I would use for this, just the general sense of entertainment. Because it is great. It is fun. It is action-filled. It is funny. And there are some amazing little gems of performances in here with people really understanding what they're in and really giving it their all and just like chewing up the scenery, just really hamming it up and just being hilarious. It is just such a good time. Fantastic movie that if you are into the right mood, it's not something, this is very different. I'm filming this the same day as I film my Hitchcock collection video. This is something totally unbelievably different. You can't get too much farther apart than that. But for an entirely different film experience, this is a gem. I'd highly recommend you check out Robo Geisha. If you've seen it, let me know. If there are favorites like this, if you're familiar with these types of movies that you've seen, please list them below. And maybe I've seen them, maybe I haven't. Maybe I'll check them out. I'd love to hear some suggestions. So Robo Geisha is a movie that you should look out for. A great, fun time if you have the right sense of humor.